Welcome to the worst sports channel on YouTube, Hot Garbage Sports, with me, Coach Ryan D. Loud, eh? That sign says it all. This was not a team that the North Division has seen before. Big, fast, structured, tough, able to penetrate to the middle, and elite goaltending on top of the fact that they had an elite defensive core. It is only game one, but the Vegas Golden Knights take it to the North champions, the Montreal Canadiens. Complete and utter dominance in this game after the first period. 2 periods where Vegas owns Montreal. Montreal fans, stick with us till the end. You're not out of the series. It's only one game, but if you need a safe space to return to, if you need a media bubble to return to, if you need to be told that this was a good game for you and you played really well and you have a lot of hope for the future, this isn't the video for you. We'll see you in video 2. But if you want a breakdown of what the Montreal Canadiens need to do in game 2 in order to take this, stick with us till the end. Vegas Golden Knights fans, you're going to love everything coming at it because it is nearly a perfect game for the Knights. So stay tuned to the end of the video. We'll break down the goals. We'll break down the shots. We will talk about what happened in this game. Let's roll the intro.
Here's Lemieux. The center penalty coming up. Look at Lemieux.
Okay, Montreal, it is hard to play a game when you no longer have the lead. It is easy for me to say as somebody here on YouTube talking about it, but I've been there as a coach and as a player. You play differently when you have the lead versus when you don't have the lead. Shocker, coach. Thanks for telling us. Tell us more. Well, when you've played with the lead for as long as the Montreal Canadiens have in this playoffs, it can be a little bit of a shell shock when you don't get that lead. And in this game, the Montreal Canadiens came out flying. They owned the first 10 minutes of this game before the Shea Theodore goal. And then all of a sudden it was like, what do we do now? The game completely turned on its heels when Montreal went down by a goal. And it is tough to play on the road. You've moved into America for the first time. It's like the nexus of the universe, an alternate reality. People are walking around, shaking hands, having a good time. You're coming from a place that was locked down. You can't talk to anybody. It's big, it's loud. There's 17,000 fans in the building. You feel like it's bearing down. You may be a pro athlete, but there is a little bit of shock and awe when you haven't done this for quite some time. So I think having the crowd present plus going down for the first time in however many periods, it was 447 minutes, which is incredible. Great job, Montreal, doing that. It's one for the record books, but it definitely changed the course of this game. But do not fret, Montreal, because pro teams adjust. The Vegas Golden Knights took it to the Habs in this game. They were dominant in the goaltending battle, and I know Carey Price played very good, but Marc Andre Fleury outplayed him. We're going to talk about why in this game. This game is 8-1 if it isn't for Carey Price, so trust me, I'm not taking anything away from Price. He didn't lose you this game at all. He played as good as any goalie could have played in this situation. However, Fleury wins the goaltending battle today. The defense of the Vegas Golden Knights are just on fire. 3 different goals by them. The offense of the Vegas Golden Knights and the big, tough 3 lines that they roll. And line 4 isn't bad with Vegas either, having Ryan Reeves on it. They just end up penetrating the middle of that Montreal trap style defense. And once they were able to find their way into the middle of the ice in both the neutral zone and the D zone, they were able to take over this game. All 4 goals came by crossing the Royal Road. We'll tell you exactly what that means if you stick with us. But first off, if this is your first time on the channel, please consider subscribing. We have been growing like gangbusters. Knights fans, Habs fans, we love y'all. We're here to give you as unbiased of an opinion in this game as we can. We're watching both of you on the way to the cup. Smash a like for us. And if you want to check out the links down below, I have a couple awesome creators that are with me regularly. Jake from Peg City Hockey, Nolan from the Nolan Hockey Podcast, and Duster McDangles. Their links are down below. These guys are huge hockey fans. Check them out. Okay, so back to the game. The Habs will adjust. They're going to go back to their hotel room. They can't go out on the town. They're going to sit down with Coach Ducharme, and they're going to break down the tape of what went wrong and how did Vegas penetrate their impenetrable team defense. Price looked great. Not much for him to break down other than the first goal. But the rest of the Habs team is going to have to talk about how are they going to keep Vegas back to the outside. They were able to keep a lot of shots to the outside, but don't let the shot tracker fool you. All of those shots were cross-ice passes, very difficult for goaltenders to stop. Green chances, we talk about them all the time. All 4 goals came off green chances. All right, they will adjust. They will redo. Game 2 will definitely be different than game 1. I'm not saying the Habs are going to win game 1. I'm just saying it will be different. The Knights ended up rolling them in this game, but that's okay. That's why it's a 7-game series, and that is why you have time to adjust. Montreal only needs to take 1 on the road. So if they can adjust next game, we'll see what they bring back tomorrow. But this game, all nights. Okay, so let's take a look at the shot locations and some of the stats for the game today. You can see right away that Montreal, like in the first 10 minutes, just an amazing team game. I mean, they ended up scoring, but Fleury weathers the storm. We're going to take a look at the clips in a second. The Vegas Golden Knights, though, in that first 10 minutes of the game, they were buying ice. If you notice, they were laying a lot of body checks. And I know if we go over here, we can see that the Montreal Canadiens out-hit the Vegas Golden Knights, but Vegas was laying a lot of really good body checks and finding ways to get into the middle of the ice while Fleury was taking care of the front of his net. Because Gallagher and a few other players in Montreal were unable to score in their salvos in the beginning, it ended up turning the game in favor for Vegas because it could have easily been 2-0 before the Theodore goal. Then you can see in the second and the third period, it was all Vegas. There was a period of time where there was only 5 shots on net between the second period and the first 5 minutes of the third period. It took 5 minutes into third period before Montreal was able to get their first shot. That's how dominant Vegas was in the middle of the game. And then the shot count really only ends up becoming even because Montreal pulls their goalie with 4 minutes left and ends up generating a lot of chances, which again, Fleury stands on his head, keeping them all out of the net. So yes, there was 11 chances in the third, but don't let it fool you. This was a 6-on-5 situation at the end. Vegas took it to him for period 2 and period 3. It was all nights. Like we said, loud, eh? So we've talked about this before on this channel. We call it the home plate. When we're talking about scoring chances, we're looking at green chances versus red chances. And most of the chances that end up showing up in this game are green chances for the Montreal Canadiens. What's a green chance, you ask? A green chance is anything that crosses the Royal Road, meaning it goes east to west across the middle of the ice. It is anything that ends up having a tip, screen, deflection, or nasty tip in front of the net, or second or third chances after rebounds. These are very hard chances for the goalie to save. And finally, they're chances that go from below the goal line to above the goal line, changing the goalie's angle, giving you a better chance to score. Anything that's from the outside that doesn't involve a cross ice pass, a rebound, a deflection, or a screen is a red chance. Goalie should have it all day. Montreal had a ton of green chances on Fleury. They should have scored more goals, but Marc Andre Fleury is freaking elite, stands on his head, and keeps it out of the net. Like I said, in the first 10 minutes, if Gallagher and a couple other Habs are able to score, this is a different game. So what we have down here is a concept called a home plate. Basically, you draw a line to the dot, up to the top of the circle and across. You make it look like a home plate from baseball. Any chance that comes within here is a very dangerous chance. And you can see that Montreal was able to actually put 13 to 15 of their chances in this area. However, because Fleury and the Knights end up handling it, none of them end up going in with the exception of the Caufield goal on the power play. Let's take a look at the Knights though. So Montreal is a team that prides themselves on keeping opportunities to the outside. If you go ahead and draw your home plate again, you can say Montreal did an excellent job keeping shots to the outside. Yes and no. And this is where it takes a coach's breakdown to be able to figure it out. So the Theodore goal is goal 1. It comes in from here. You can see that there was a large screen, and we'll show it in the clip from here, turning this red chance into a green chance. Because Price couldn't see the puck, this actually ends up being a high percentage chance to score, and it did. The second goal is a slap pass by Martinez where the angle ends up changing. So Shea Theodore not only gets Price to bite on the fake slap shot, but he ends up pushing the puck over the Royal Road out to Martinez, who ends up nailing it with goal 2. So let's go ahead. Let's draw the Royal Road here for you so you can see what we're talking about. It is just a straight line down the center of the ice, and any puck that crosses that line east to west becomes very difficult for a goalie to stop. It's a green chance. Goal number 3 by Janmark ends up starting over here with Alex Tuch. Alex Tuch shoots a shot in on net. It bounces off Romanov, ends up crossing the Royal Road, hitting Janmark's stick, going in. Is it a lucky bounce? For sure. But you talk about pucks on net all day. There's nothing lucky when you make a purposeful play to the net. Teams score goals with this all the time. Put pucks on net, you never know what's going to happen. And finally, the Nick Holden goal, again, crossing the Royal Road. So again, east to west, over to Nick Holden, who ends up putting it in for goal number 4. And those Royal Road chances are some of the most dangerous chances in hockey. Even the best goaltenders in the world aren't expected to stop these pucks. So none of these goals are on Carey Price. He frankly made 5 or 6 saves that he shouldn't have made today because he's that damn good. This game could have absolutely been 8-1 if it wasn't for playoff Price, but it ends up 4-1. You just can't judge the quality of shots without knowing where those shots are coming from. So Montreal does an excellent job of keeping them to the outside, but they do a terrible job of keeping those pucks from crossing that Royal Road. They allowed Vegas to penetrate the middle of the ice in their defensive zone, Unlike the Leafs and the Jets in the series before, that was Montreal's success, using their defensive zone structure to stop those middle ice danger passes. But Vegas imposes their will. They are able to do it, and they bury 4 against Price. So right here, you can see Gallagher first 30 seconds into the game. Unbelievable save by Fleury. This salvo probably changes the entire game. Unbelievable to think that 54 seconds into a game, the game may have been decided by this play. Really, really big save by Fleury here. So a minute into the game here as well, you can see another nasty scramble in front of the net. Montreal is all over him at this point. Fleury shuts the door again against the Habs. Like, wow, what a save 7 minutes into the game. So the third big save we want to pull out for Fleury is this huge save on Anderson. Unbelievable. He ends up cutting across the ice. And remember, the Royal Road is right here in the middle of the rink. Even if a player crosses over the Royal Road, especially with speed, that counts as a green chance. Fleury keeps this one out of the net again. What a big save by Fleury. We're 7 minutes into the game. The Habs are all over them. All right, so puck is right here on the first Theodore goal off the faceoff. And there's going to be a lot of talk about faceoff from Montreal. The young guys they just got beat on the faceoff, and that's tough because it ends up causing this goal. Theodore scores the goal, but look at Price's head. It's kind of just back here. I know that he's not a big purple head. It's just hidden, but he's looking. He's pushed from right to left, and he's trying to look around this screen. He is assuming that Theodore is going to continue dragging this puck, and we saw this goal against the Leafs in the playoffs too. Almost the same goal. Price is looking to find the puck. He can't see it. This is exactly what a goalie should do, but unfortunately, because of this screen, this becomes a green chance, and all this daylight in the net is left because he has to look left or right, and this is the correct play by Price. Continue pushing across your crease before you find the puck. He just doesn't find the puck. It goes in, and I think this goal ends up getting in the Habs' head. I think they end up feeling like, man, we haven't played without the lead for quite some time, and it changes. Big loud building. Tough to play without the lead when you've gone 447 minutes with it. Great job, Montreal, holding that lead for this long. Let's keep going on the clips. Okay, so here's the slap pass. You end up having Martinez down here. Remember, you've got the Royal Road across the middle. The puck is on the left side of the Royal Road again. You have Martinez down on the right, and this slap pass is practiced. It's 100% practiced. Players before the actual practice will happen or during optional skates, especially D partners like this, will practice all kinds of cute little fun stuff like this. So I guarantee you before this happened, you have a buddy who's a winger, a centerman. He sends you pucks to the top of the blue line. You end up faking a couple of these slap passes. You do it with your partner. You cross it over. This is a set play that they have messed around with a few times. I don't know if the coaching staff specifically messes around with this, but the players definitely do when they're given free ice. This is why they're pros. What a really nice job by Vegas. And here's another beauty by Price, just to give him his credit. Puck ends up going across the Royal Road again. Price has to make an unbelievable post-to-post save. I have no idea how he ends up stopping this, other than the fact that he's Carey Price. And then one last time for good measure, you can see Vegas is now starting to assert their dominance in the middle of the ice by this game. I mean, there are 5 Montreal Canadiens, and 1 player from Vegas is able to penetrate the perfect system that Montreal was playing in the last few games. I don't know how this ends up happening. It's a game of wills. Ends up getting through 5 Habs players. Slap pass, puck is right here. Ends up going in on Price. Good thing Price bails you out. This should have been a goal. Big middle ice breakdown by Montreal all game. And you know what? I said it was the last one, but it isn't. Here's Vegas owning the middle of the ice yet again. They just owned the ice, but Price keeps them in it. 2 Vegas Golden Knights end up beating 4 Montreal Canadiens again. This isn't what you want to see. It's a one-on-one against Price. Price ends up making a big save. And right here, Alex Tuch's going to end up hitting the post, but a post isn't a shot on net, and it means the goalie was in the right position. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at goal number 3. So the puck ends up coming in here, tipping off of Romanov. Again, it is a bad luck bounce. It ends up finding its way to Janmark's stick at the back door. This is the only way you're going to beat Price. But this is a set play. So yes, is it a bad bounce? Sure. But this is what you're supposed to do in hockey. You're supposed to put pucks on net. The Knights did it. They get rewarded. So that puck gets a nice little deflection here, and then it is going to end up perfectly on the stick of Janmark. And taking a look, it's right here. How lucky can you be? You got to be good to be lucky. Good job, Vegas Golden Knights. So here we go again, the 4th goal by Nick Holden, who ends up sneaking in here. And again, this is unlike Montreal. Montreal down in this corner lost the battle for the puck. It was 2-on-1 for the puck. They lose it. It pops out here to Vegas. He ends up moving it right over to Nick Holden. Again, Royal Road, middle of the ice. I know there's a lot of purple on there. There you go. Puck has made it over. We end up seeing a goal. So that's the story of the game. There are going to be some Habs fans out there that say, you played good enough to win the game. I hate to say it, but in this particular game, that's a delusional statement. You did not play good enough to win the game. Fleury owned the crease. The Knights beat the Habs in all three zones, the defensive zone, the neutral zone, and the offensive zone. And anytime you allow a team, no matter how good they are, and Vegas is a very good team, to own the middle of the ice and make cross-ice passes with very little to no D pressure, that is not playing well enough to win the game. Montreal will retool. Anybody that is signaling sweep at this point of time is either cocky or a Knights fan. And no problem, Knights fans. You should absolutely be supporting your team, just as the way Habs fans should be holding out hope that they're going to win game 2. This is what fans do. But critically and pragmatically, this was not a good game by the Habs. This was a good game by Carey Price. Team-wise, the other 20 players in front of him did not play good enough to get this done. The 20 players on the Vegas Golden Knights played superb from top to bottom. Game 2 may or may not be a completely different story, but professional teams need to readjust, take a look at the tape, and bring something different. If the Habs cannot adjust next game, the Knights will definitely take game 2 again, but I do believe that the Habs can and will adjust. I'm not saying that the Habs will take game 2. I'm not saying the Knights will take game 2. The Habs have taught me at this point in the playoffs not to make predictions because they will blow up anything you predict for them or against them. It will just be the sheer opposite. So I'm going to sit back and watch this series. So if you're the Habs coach, you're thinking about what do you have to do differently in order to win the next game. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think the Habs need to do differently. Knights fans, let me know what you think you're going to bring next game, because again, the Knights are going to adjust as well too. So near perfect game from the Knights. They're not going to rest on their laurels. I'm excited for game 2. Montreal should calm down to the effects of the crowd, the 43-degree weather. For Knights fans, that's really hot. It's Celsius, something like 100 or whatever imperial system you use. We don't know. We're Canadian. Either way, it's scorching and not hockey weather, but it definitely benefits the Knights. So great game 1 for the Knights. Montreal fans, rebound. Drop a like, drop a subscribe. This has been Coach Ryan D.